Hello, everyone. Welcome back again. My name is Cureton, Senior Journalist from XR Today. We are covering the XR Trends MediaCast for today. And we have on an amazing guest for this particular session. We have Mr. Jake Rowland. He is the Group Head of Business and Sales for the EMEA region and US at Igloo Vision. So, Jake, it's a pleasure to have you on today. How are you doing?
I'm very well, thank you, Demond. Yeah, good to be here.
Yeah, also loving the background as we are, based stateside for this conversation. We've had a lot of basketball taking place.
Yeah, sitting in one of our kind of little XR studios, so I can take you anywhere you want in the world. So I thought I'd make you feel at home to start with by sitting in the Dallas Mavericks Stadium. But maybe a little bit later in the conversation we can travel something else.
Many thanks, much appreciated. I'm sure our fellow members would love to see that because it's amazing. Like you can have any environment that you want in the background, and it actually builds that really nice level of immersion for whatever conversations that you want to have. So kudos to you on that.
Yeah, cool. Thank you.
All right, so we're going to start. We're going to go straight to the first conversation point. Can you tell us a little bit about Igloo Vision and the business level challenges that the company aims to resolve for its clients?
Absolutely. So at Igloo Vision, we are all about creating an immersive software platform that allows customers in lots of different industries and sectors to be able to visualize data, content, and applications in immersive settings. So this has been quite tricky in the past. It's been quite a tricky workflow to perhaps get particular apps running. And our ethos is about creating this almost an operating system for immersive spaces that really allows anyone to walk into a space and start using it. So we're really trying to kind of democratize these kind of immersive situations and make them really usable and really valuable. So that's our key goals is to make these spaces really valuable to the businesses that we work with. And they come in quite a few different sectors. So big ones for us are education. Obviously, putting students into an immersive space just really propels their learning. We have architecture, engineering, construction. So allowing these engineers and these architects around the world to look at their designs and plans ahead of time. And then also the kind of enterprise side of things as well. So allowing collaboration, presentations, and decision making in these spaces. So essentially anything you do in a VR headset, but we allow you to do it in a space wrapped around a group of people.
Yeah, absolutely. And that kind of creates kind of a shared experience amongst people without having, each person, fully immersed in a headset. I know that a lot of people have kind of experimented with that with in real glasses for art exhibitions. I think Tin Drum did that. But with Igloo Vision, it's just full 4K. And we've seen a lot of art exhibitions using similar technologies with Van Gogh or with Gustav Klimt. So very interesting.
Yeah, we're really seeing that boom on the art side. But we're much more of a kind of practical version of that. So allowing people to chop and change between applications, content types, use cases, all within that space. But the emergence of these big immersive exhibits in the public eye is fantastic because it's getting people in different industries that might not have been exposed to immersive before to start thinking about how it could benefit their business. So just today I had an incoming inquiry from a woman in a sector that might not ever think of XR, but she'd just been to the Van Gogh immersive experience and give us a call because she could see how that kind of experience could apply to her business. So really exciting times with the emergence of all these immersive spaces.
Brilliant. Yeah, absolutely. And speaking of some of the bits and bobs that, go into the technical side of Igloo Vision, how people can apply it at the practical and pragmatic level. Can you tell us a little bit about some of the apps and solutions and some of the technologies that people can integrate into it?
Yeah, absolutely. And the integrations for us is really key to our platform. It really means that people can use the tools and the content that they already use on a daily basis. So we've gone for the big existing sort of immersive media repositories in the world. So YouTube 360, we have an API access for, so you can play any YouTube 360 video in an Igloo instantly just by putting the URL in. So that's amazing for education, allowing teachers to take kids around the world or underwater to outer space. Street View is really interesting. So that's actually the content I have behind me. We can take you anywhere in the world, anywhere that's mapped by Google. We can take you there in an Igloo. So again, it seems like fun, but there are practical use cases as well. So virtual site visits for engineers, or we've even had kind of enterprise customers looking at where they might put an event pop-up. So yeah, doing virtual site visits through Street View. And then we have more kind of industry-specific integrations. So we've just integrated with a 368K live streaming service called Avatar, and that's absolutely amazing. So we get really high-quality, secure 8K video streamed from anywhere in the world to our immersive spaces. That's being used by oil and gas at the moment to give kind of virtual walkarounds of assets and do site visits without people having to travel. So there's a lot of benefits there. Sustainability, cost savings on the travel, and time saved from the travel as well. So the other key ones are looking at 3D model import for architects and engineers. So we work with people like Autodesk, Bentley, allowing designers to get 3D models into these spaces very easily, allow people to kind of navigate around them. Of course, we've got integrations with key games engines as well. So Unity, we have a plugin, Unreal Engine. Also, WebGL is a really exciting area for us as well. So, we're having some customers just put in a URL and very quickly you're walking around a 3D space in the web in 360. So I'm really excited about that kind of content delivery sort of mechanism in the future. They're pretty key for us.
Absolutely. Yeah, and you've touched on a lot of those really important use cases for that. And I think that's going to be a very kind of great way to introduce people to XR, so that way they can find things at the practical level, how they can apply it to their everyday lives. And I think once people integrate those into their workflows, we'll see a lot more solutions coming out and a lot more people innovating their their current and future solutions. So it's going to be interesting to see how they do that. I was going to ask you a little bit about that, talking about some of those different things that people can integrate into Igloo Vision. I wanted to know if you could tell us about, is there a trend of unified communications and extended reality technologies, kind of crossing over into one another? And do you think they benefit from doing so?
Yeah, good question. So at the moment, when we're talking about VC and unified communications in the Igloo, pretty much all of our spaces have a high quality camera, a speaker, ceiling microphone, etc. So people can call in on any platform, Teams, Zoom, etc. That is really useful, and we're doing some clever things with camera perspective change to make the remote participant view more immersive. So we can like we've done here, we can recalibrate the content to be from the video calling camera. So you can almost get rid of all of the corners in an immersive space. So that's fantastic. People using that on a daily basis. And the next phase of that is definitely that kind of virtuality collaboration platform that we're starting to see the emergence of. And we do have integrations with a couple of those. So Connect2, a Dutch company, that's an interesting platform that's already working in the Igloo. The Wild VR as well works within our spaces. And we are working with some of the biggest tech companies who do some of the biggest video calling platforms. They're obviously looking into virtual versions of their meeting platforms, and we're working with them in their innovation labs to look at integrating with Igloo as well. So it's absolutely big crossover happening, and it's probably going to be in the next year or so that we'll see that happening, and actually companies getting a lot of value from it, I think.
Brilliant, brilliant. Yeah, you've touched on a few of those, kinds of trends that are going to be taking shape over the next, few months, few years, or so on. What about the next 5 to 10 years? Do you see some kind of integrations either with XR headsets? Do you think companies like Apple are going to integrate the Vision Pro, Meta with the Quest 3, or HTC Vive with the XR Elite? Do you think they'll be able to kind of integrate these kind of headsets into solutions like Igloo Vision?
Yeah, I probably don't want to look 10 years down the line. It's too far to make any judgments. But yeah, over the next couple of years, yeah, we're definitely seeing more and more requests from our customers to make sure that the headsets can work with Igloos. And that's more about the platform. So, like I said, we have the integrations, Unity and Unreal obviously support kind of multi-user experiences. And because we have those Games Engine plugins that headset users can collaborate with Igloo users. And the things that the challenges we're working on now with this kind of delivery is actually how does a space be represented in a virtual platform? At the moment, typically it's a single avatar, but you might have a room with 6 or 7 directors and you don't know who you're talking to when you're the person in the headset. So we're working with some really interesting forward-thinking companies to look at real-time LiDAR scanning of the users of the Igloo space, casting that up to the virtual platform so the headset users can see who they're talking to in real time. The people in the room typically might not want headsets, they're surrounded by content, so we're really kind of breaking down those barriers between the virtual and the real and the headset and the shared space. So that's kind of what we're working on at the moment. Other things that I think are coming along which could make a big difference to this industry is obviously the sort of AI side of things, which is everywhere at the moment, but where that will make a big difference for us is the kind of content generation. So already we have integrations like with Blockade Labs, for example, for generating skybox or IC rectangular backgrounds for our systems, and we have some interesting use cases there. Obviously education, a child can go and put in a prompt and be suddenly surrounded by brand new content that they imagined up. And we're also seeing it in a more practical use case for consumer research customers of ours. So they will put in a prompt, create a setting with their product in, and bring consumers in to surround them in this new content, and they'll judge their reactions and whatever they do. But really interesting that they're already jumping on this kind of AI content generation technology, and obviously when that moves to full 360 video or games engine generation, that's going to be really, really interesting and exciting.
Absolutely, yeah. And there's this brilliant ecosystem of different kind of technologies that you may be able to play with in the near future. For example, Canon's EOS VR system. You have the NVIDIA Omniverse. I see a lot of people potentially using that for their industrial metaverse needs. A lot of different things could come into play for that. So yeah, it's going to be an exciting time, I think, in the very near future, not so much the next 5 to 10, like you said.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was going to ask you any other thoughts or any other things you wanted to discuss, maybe even, any updates from the Integrated Systems Europe. I think we saw you guys in 2022, so it was last year, and it was very interesting kind of setup.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll be there next year, and also Infocom again next year. We love seeing all the kind of contacts and partners at these shows, and again, we'll be bringing a little bit of advancement each time. We're also going to a kind of corporate training, I think it's DevLearn in Las Vegas in October. So I hope to see people there, because that's a real key use case for these immersive spaces. There is that kind of enterprise and corporate training. Get a lot of people in the space together, surround them in content, and let them make decisions. So we'll be at those shows. So come and check us out. And anyone that wants to learn a little bit more about the Igloo platform, just get in touch on igloovision.com or info@igloovision.
Absolutely. Thanks so much for your time. Once again, we've been speaking to Jake Rowland. He is the Group Head of Business and Sales for the EMEA region and US at Igloo Vision. has been sharing some very nice insights about the Igloo Vision's solution, how it's used in everyday affairs, and how companies can leverage the platform. So once again, my name is Cureton, Senior Journalist from XR Today. And if you'd like to continue following conversations like this, please join us at the XR News hashtag, as well as the XR Trends. You can join us on Twitter and LinkedIn. So once again, thanks so much for joining. And until next time, keep following the news. Bye now.
Thanks, bye.